Hey guys, how's it going? December 12th, 2020. My son's here. Yeah, he's probably bored. Giving him a bit of a life lesson, but he already knows this crap, right? You already know this crap. He already knows this crap. Called hypocrisy. There's a lot of hypocrisy in the world. I'm still a member here, but I've asked to be banned. If anybody can tell me how I can ban myself, I would love to do it. I don't know if I can.
Highly doubt.
Well, no, I just want to delete my profile or delete my membership. Recent visitors, Brad 3816. Well, he's one guy that likes to visit because he's got a chip on his shoulders, and apparently I trigger him or something. But I guess I sent him a private message. Let me see if I can find it. I like showing this kind of thing since he didn't send a message to me. There we go. Uh, well, there it is. So I apologize for the language, but this is the message last week I sent him. Really simple. F off. This is why I would say to you in public or your face if you weren't behind your keyboard. Now, did he reply to me there? No. No. He not engaging me. Because he doesn't, that's the way these little cowards work. They don't, they just stay behind their little keyboard.
Cheap shot.
Cheap shot, back off. Yep. Hit and run, as I've heard the term used lately. So I'm in the Run 8 forum just for the hell of it, because that's the only thing I really go on here. The Iran stuff I really don't follow too much on here because it's really nothing going on. There's a group. Well, the Iran forum itself is just too much to handle right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different messages, and there was a message that was going on here about, I think it was the Depot forum email activation not working. Now I did reply to that. I don't know what I put in there, to be quite honest. It might have been a while ago. Yeah, I have no idea what that's about. Everybody else is talking about something, or whatever. It's a Depot forum, and I really don't care too much about the Depot forum, but I probably, who knows, maybe I said something in there. You could tell I was getting to the point where I'm trying, well, my whole purpose here is to weed out the information, because I knew the information was out there. So, and I knew people had information, but you see, we're not special enough. Neither is anybody on this forum, to be quite honest. And that's a sad thing because everybody's like a bunch of seals going, "Arr, take your bread, take your bread." It's like, okay. So Fresno to East Seligman. This was a message that somewhere. Now I'm just talking about. And we're having this is very interesting discussions. Oh, did they take the message out? Did they actually take the attack out? Oh, they did. Oh no, there it is. There it is. For organic watching movie I've seen in the past, I can smile back at a time I've had over past 7 years. So I'm using the word I quite a bit. So what does Brad do? I'm. That's an attack. That has no bearing. Moderators didn't do anything about that. Then there's thanks for the videos, Bruce. Well, he had to save himself there. I left you a private message to say what would get me in trouble here, but to you or anyone else who doesn't like what I want to answer when asked a question, there is this really cool ignore function built into the forums. Otherwise, I have no problem standing up to the forum to bullies or keyboard warriors. He never replied after that. Nothing. Not a thing. So we went on and we had our discussion, and we talked about things. And yeah, I have a bit of a grievance. I'd like to see Run8 provide us with some more information. But there's my reply to him. This was a reply because there was a lot of other stuff going on. And I basically told him, you can find this on the forum. Don't forget North by North. See, now he's ignoring. Now he's just, he's shutting up. It's called hit and run attacks. And so he did his little hit and run attack. I figured, okay, I'll move on to. I watch very little televisions, blah, blah, blah. We were just talking about different things that we'd watch again and stuff like that. See, they were talking about movies and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's not really on topic, but neither was my post and by the way the thread was going. Nice friendly conversation. I'll miss some of these people on here. I mean, I know I jokingly call them seals, but you'll see why in a minute. Fort Erie. And so anyways, this is where the fun began. I didn't post this message. Run8 hit a big milestone. 1 year since the last DLC update release. That being said, well, of course I'm going to go all over that. And I'm going on. I'm basically saying, come on, John. Come on over here and grace us with your presence. I mean, they've got a YouTube channel. Okay. Here's their YouTube channel. I got a YouTube channel where I probably have a few more subscribers. And I'm subscribed to it. So yeah, I'm looking for information. I don't like dealing with hypocritical forums. So Run8 Studios, I looked at this the other day. 2 videos. I watched the full things. Now it doesn't show it like I stopped there or whatever, but these are from 2 years. And some of their favorite videos, like, well, whatever. So they've produced 2 videos. And that was at the beginning, I think the beginning of version 2 or whatever the heck it was. They can run the company the way they want to. I've always said that. See? So I'm going to stay. Triggering has become a fast part-time, fun part-time. Like, so see, now this was a message about. I started mentioning about the YouTube channel and that they only had 2 videos. And that I remembered the first time that I saw Run8. And it was a nice video while they were in the process of wait a minute, is this the one? Yeah, Run8 had to market itself to get attention, so I suppose they needed to start a buzz more. Yeah, this was talking about it. So I remember seeing this video when they were climbing up from Mojave. And I thought to myself, well, this looks kind of interesting. The graphics weren't the greatest, but I didn't care about that. It looked kind of interesting, and the detector was going off, and the whole thing. That was before Run8 was even released. So the fact that they don't like putting, and I don't want Run8 to go down the route of DTG, and I get that.
Yeah.
I don't want them to go down the route of DTG either. And what they've said and their actions are 2 different things. Worst case, it was a great run. Best case, I'm wrong. So I'm open to say that I'm wrong, and they surprise us. They have surprised me before. But the expectations now are pretty low. Out of curiosity, I went to see how other popular forums are doing, and it appears this one is busier with a few of shooting the breeze or something like that, whatever the heck I said. So he says whatever, which is fine. Since you were that now look at this. Out of curiosity. Oh, and first of all, I don't have access to anything, or that I have people that are on the depot. But anyways, I digress. And who knows if I'm even talking about the depot? I actually said forums. I didn't say forum. I can tell you I'm not. There's a lot of forums I'm not even on, but I can still check out what's going on. You weren't able to, out of curiosity, see how they were doing. Fact is, the hundreds of active members run trains every day over there. Know that John Greenstone, as of December 2nd, is assuring everyone version 3 well into production. So now all of a sudden we're getting the tidbits of the information. See how much it took to trigger somebody to give information to us lowly little peasants who aren't indoctrinated to the depot? Why do I have to become a member of the depot? Are they the Run 8? Are they the official Run 8 forum? Because they're not, but they might as well be. So he talks about a quote from John. Oh, well, what? Well, that's great. It's information. Talking about different information is great, but like I said before, we actually saw images and things of what was going on and what was in version 3, or sorry, version 1 before it came out. And then it says, well, that's reassuring to read that. Thank you, Brad. Nice. Nevertheless, it wouldn't hurt them to pop a note here occasionally rather than have to us rely on third party, namely you, Brad, passing on the information. Agreed. Exactly. Sounds like we're getting Rain in version 3 then. See what I mean? All of a sudden we hear something about something different. I didn't know we were getting Rain. I'm like, okay, cool. Would it have been so hard for them to say something to the masses or expect just Run 8 Depot to do everything? That's my criticism of them. So as someone who's still waiting for the Depot forum email activation, I had no reply from the chap. It was a suggestion I contact either. This is pretty much the only place I can discuss Run 8 issues. So it would be nice if John or ever Big Brad stopped by once in a while, a bit of an update. And it's not just version 3. Some information in the further items of version 2. Any root add-on also team support would be no kidding. And I said, wow, I thank you, Brad. See how triggering works? I could get banned from the KKK doesn't mean jack shit. So being banned from someplace don't mean shit. If they're if they're run by hypocritic, power-hungry moderators who can't get their shit together, it doesn't matter. So I like, okay, so what is that supposed to mean? What does that have to do with anything that I said there? I did, so I mentioned other forums. I didn't even mention them by name. So I said, I know your secret society over there doesn't like any criticism. The mods can't agree of what policy they're supposed to follow. That's why I left before I got banned, which I've done here. I did the same thing here. Now, they're not so bad here. I've banged him. Go figure. But I asked them politely to ban me. I don't want to be on here anymore. This is the last time I'm really showing this. But rewrite history however you see fit. It's a shame that many who support Run 8 around here, which I do. That's the thing that really gets confused. It's like I'm out to attack Run 8. There were people, okay, here left out while the only things you can pass
Fort Erie.
that you can post here to have the personal attacks to get you to give us any trade secrets. Again, Run 8 does a piss poor job of communicating to everyone outside their little club. They can't handle constructive criticism, let alone any criticism. It's why they kicked out so many people off the Run 8 forums when I was a moderator with them. I remember. And for anybody who thinks I'm doing anything with a non-disclosure agreement, up your ass. That's not a trade secret. They got rid of people off their forums who were giving a bad light to Run 8. They didn't deal with it. I can assure you as a moderator, I never kicked anybody off. I kind of shook my head thinking, well, okay. And yeah, some of them were troublemakers, I could tell. But you wouldn't, because there were some personal issues between various people. It was none of my business. I didn't know what the personal issues were. There was some personal issues going back, way back. Had nothing to do with me. I just happened to find out about them. But anyways, I won't get into any more details about that. But you wouldn't know what would you, Brad? Because you didn't have the view I had. Keep trying, Tiger. By the way, thanks for the info. Was it very difficult? By the way, my private message still stands, which is the one I told him to F off. If you had a spline, you would use it to mount your little attacks. He doesn't have a spline. Then we get Dale. Never reply stuff, which was an attack. That was a personal attack on me. If this is going to turn into a pissing match, it will be locked and deleted, so keep it up. Well, there's my last message. This is the last message on Train Sim. I'm not going back. I've had enough of this shit. And whether Dale was aware of it or any other moderator here, I don't care. I got no personal beef with them, but the hypocrisy is just... I'm tired of it. I went on here because I had a little bit of extra time on my hands. It's a rainy day today, so my son was... Unfortunately, my son has to bear witness to all this. You don't mind this, do you? Hey, you. Are you awake?
Yeah.
See?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm taking away from our weekend with trying to stand up for myself, but that's a life lesson. Stand up for yourself. There's one thing with rules and foreign policies and actually all that other crap. That's fine. But one thing I do, if you guys know me, you've known me for years, I stand up for myself. I don't take bullshit. So I said, it's not needed, and this would be my final post on the forum. There's only a handful of us left around here anyways, and even if we disagree, we had some great debates and discussions, which we did. You'll notice I didn't start the attacks, I finished them. Which I do. That is why I'm true to my character. Brad's little I message was a personal attack. There was no value to the message other than to show why. So I replied to a bunch of I's and called him out privately. But he isn't interested in settling differences. He's interested in hidden run attacks. He did the same thing again, which he has. Now, yes, I threw the little jab about triggering, which is indeed the case. I do like to throw little jabs in. When I see somebody being a bully or stuff like that, I throw little jabs in there. Or if I find people, aren't frequenting the forum and they just, they come by because they're so busy, like, give me a break. Spare me. I know developers. I know single developers who are putting out content like crazy. And they frequent the forums. They go through all the constructive criticism and sometimes some unfair criticism. Spare me the bullshit. And we know this. We've seen developers that do this. Spare me the bullshit. Because that's bullshit.
Run 8 they update it so often, and often for the amount of time they've had working on it, it's...
No. They updated. Their updates were fine. No, but they haven't updated in over they haven't done anything in over a year to indicate anything to some of the general public, because we're not into multiplayer. How do you know I'm not into multiplayer? Just because I frequent this forum, I'm not into multiplayer? There are people, I can tell you right now, that have grown just tired of it, and they don't frequent the depot because they know depot's a bunch of bullshit. I got kicked off of there because I asked them Now maybe I'm miss I'm not too sure. There was a private message. I put it this way: any forum that I've been on, I basically wanted to get kicked off. When I've had enough, I'll throw in one last attack, and that's it. And I decided this is the end of Train Sim. So now all my windows in on Run 8, except for that little YouTube channel that it hasn't had anything in 2 years, and their website, which they can't ban me from that, is the only information I have. Well, what's going on with Run 8? What's going on with Run 8 these days? Eh. Here's their website. So this is stuff that became available over a year ago. And then any press releases, anything to let us know how our peons are doing now. Now December, John was telling the depot guys how everything's going and blah 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 and how everything's a struggle. I get it. I've programmed. I know what it's like. I don't like programming. But anyways, that's yeah. It used to be something where you'd look on that site, and they don't have their own forums. They can't handle having their own forums. They can't handle the criticism. They don't want to deal with criticism. They want everybody. They want a bunch of yes men.
Yeah.
That's what they like surrounding themselves with is a bunch of yes men.
But
Okay.
also, I believe if they did have a live enough.
Oh, it's been alive enough. Their forum has been great. They had a forum.
Yeah.
The problem is they kept booting people off.
Yeah.
Which is what I said.
That's why I believe it eventually will be.
Well, they take criticism, but they don't know how to handle or ignore it.
No.
They think any single thing. I got knocked off the team because I posted a video which was actually trying to it was about a flaw which was well known, and I was trying to show my audience how they can get around it, how they can even when this happens, they can still save their session or whatever. That was what the video was, but apparently it didn't put Run 8 in good light. Run 8 doesn't have any light because Run 8 doesn't do jack shit with their basic whether it be advertising, showing what the hell they got. They rely on people like me and others who would do YouTube videos and show them stuff like that, but they wouldn't do it for themselves. They were too busy. But yet they weren't busy enough to ban people on their forums. They weren't busy enough to. People don't know how to ignore. And they think just because there's a bunch of people on here that are being trolls, guess what? There was people like me and others who stood up to them. If I saw somebody who was being unfair to Run 8, I stood up to them. In fact, I stood up to a lot of people on this forum. But anyways. So, yeah. As many of them asked me, I'm asking the same thing from you here now. Been a pleasure chatting with the mature adults in the room. It was very nice of the inner circle to provide so much information. My critical thought on Run 8 stands. The hypocrisy is taking away too much fun from engaging conversation. That's the only thing I had left with Run 8 was these engaging conversations. Seeing what other people were doing. And it wasn't much, going from one end to the root to the other, what a tea. But still, I enjoyed hearing other people's point of view. This is where you can find me. This is my YouTube channel. Obviously, you're here. And my Twitter. So, I'm done with screwing around with Run 8. Or not Run 8, sorry, Train Sim. Run 8, I was done with that a long time ago. Oh, hi, Scott. Sorry. So, yeah, so I'm just reading Scott's comments on here. Talking on a cool Saturday now. Yeah, the train. the train sim sheriff, our buddy Dale. I don't know why he didn't step in and get the guy for with the posting III. I guess he's too valuable of an asset to them or something. I don't know. But the hypocrisy, I'm done with. I've I went through the whole process and I didn't get banned. I didn't get warned or anything like that. The only thing that it was talking about was locking the thread. At that point, I just said, I'm done with this. You're not going to get any more posts from me. And I sent a private message. I asked him, I says, remove my membership. And we'll see if they follow through with that. Because here's the reason why I asked him to remove my membership. There's going to become a time where I get curious. This is why I went back to don't go back to Train Sim when I'm bored. When I have like 30 minutes or whatever, it's a rainy day and I can't get out to fly, stuff like that. That's why I go back in. I don't keep up with Iran trains forums right now because it's a lot to keep up on. So, because it's a lot to keep up on, that is something I'm not following right now. My son is heavily into it, which is great. I'm not. But, so I gathered... Dr. Ruth. Hang in there. Haha. Dr. Ruth. Oh, man. Is there anything else? No, there's nothing. I don't know why I got my email open. I got a thumbs down? Wow, I finally got a thumbs down. That's because people are curious creatures. They want to know what the hell I'm saying. So now you got people in here who don't like what I have to say. And that's okay. I don't mind the thumbs down. If you don't like what I have to say, give me more thumbs down.
Yeah,
You can do what the hell you want. I got one like. I don't know where my thumbs down are, but I'll get a bunch of thumbs down. I don't care. I mean, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm tired of doing YouTube. To be honest, even though I'm on here, it's like I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting hypocrisy. Uh, I just want to have engaging conversations with people where I'm not going to be policed every time I stand up for myself. Maybe I can't handle forums. Maybe I just can't handle this whole moderation all the time. And Dale didn't do anything too out of the norm. He just tried to stop the pissing contest and warned that he was going to lock the thread. But it always happens on my posts. And that's because my posts get a lot more substance. I don't do the little one-liners. I hate people who do the little one-liners or small little comments, the big digs on the personal attacks. When I see that, I say that's a cheap run by. And I've already tried to engage privately with these people. They do not want to engage. They don't want to settle differences. They don't want to talk about anything. They got some stupid ass hatred towards me. I don't give a rat's ass who Brad 3816 is. 316 thinks he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't give a shit.
basically, these people, they write little short little shots and they won't reply to it.
Well, no, and they're the ultimate trolls. Because they know, and I feed trolls. I feed trolls, but I also like triggering. I love triggering these trolls.
It's fun to see how they don't come back because they
No,
realize.
because it shows them, and some people don't notice. They don't notice the personal attack. They could care less about the personal attack. They could care less. They know how to ignore. But nobody was calling out the hypocrisy. I was. Because all of a sudden you're negative about Run 8, and woohoo. I'm like, come on. So, yeah, I know who Dr. Ruth is. I just didn't understand the sex therapist thing. Don't you dare cut YouTube. It's my new Xfinity. Mm. Yeah, but YouTube's I if you look at YouTube, and this is I go back and forth on this all the time. I got a bunch of videos in the can, by the way. Um, if you go to my channel, let me go into I'll go to manage videos and see how things are doing these days. Got a lot of likes on this one. That was good.
Really cool.
This one I haven't put up. See, there's some stuff I haven't even put up yet. That's down by see, that's the hydro canal. I haven't put that. That wasn't the greatest video. I got about 16 views on 422, so that's not bad. This is one of the best ones I've had, personally. But I got a few others that I have of Queenston Heights and Mewburn Road that I have to upload. I'll probably upload them later this weekend.
The best ones are.
What's that? Well, this one, okay, this one was put on Facebook. That's why, and I don't do Facebook. Somebody put it on Facebook. It had to do with Welland, so Paul put it on Facebook. But yeah, I barely. I don't know how Oxy Vinyl's got 41 views.
I don't know, maybe the sheer industrial.
That's surprising. So sometimes there is a video that kind of Oxy Vinyl's got 41 views. When did that happen? Yeah.
I
mean,
one of your most successful songs, which was CP Train at the.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was the first one. People were curious about the drone. That's all there is to it. A lot of these don't have sound. I'm too lazy to bother with it. I don't like editing. Editing is so freaking, and it's not that I don't want to put the effort into the channel. It's that I want to have fun. I don't mind engaging with my audience. This is fine. And I don't have much of an audience. Only Scott. Scott's the only one on right now. Well, maybe there's two. I don't know. Does that include me? It's on to me. So he just says don't dare cut YouTube out. Yeah. Oh shoot! I haven't had breakfast this morning. I drank, or did I? Yes, I did. I still have water here, and I'm thinking, did I have breakfast? Yeah, I did have breakfast. Okay. So yeah, I got into all the piss and vinegar that was over at Train Sim. I'm like, yeah. But no, there's not too much else to talk about. You guys got anything? You got anything to talk about, Scott? You're not doing anything. He thinks Run 8's dead, but apparently he's not. If you look at Train Sim, old Droopy Drawers there decided to share the Colonel's secret ingredients. That was nice of him.
Yeah.
So instead of doing personal attacks, he could have just done that.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to. I don't care if it's from Brad. I don't care if it's from John. I don't care if it's for, Big Brad, Little Brad. That's what I'm going to call Brad 386. I'm going to call him Little Brad. Brad Jr. There we go. That's Brad 316's name, is Brad Jr. Little Brad. I don't know, what do you like better? Brad Jr.?
No, Brad.
Mini Brad? Mini Brad. Mini
You
Brad.
can substitute the for it.
No, that don't matter. Mini Brat?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but Brad is Brad's the head guy at Run 8. So that's why we call Big Brad, and that's not Brad Brown. That's that's uh that's their little minions. They're well, yeah, you can call them that. Who knows? I used to have more minions, but like Brad said, I'll say this much for him, and he did say some interesting things in his little comment. Um, Nobody here is interested in multiplayer, which is not true because I am, and so they wouldn't even bother posting messages. Well, that's you think about the number of forums that are out there. I don't know how many other train sim forums actually give the time of day to run 8, but I can tell you their community forum is much, much less than what it once was. And just because they have a private club and all that, maybe that's all they care about is catering to their private club, and apparently that's it. That's all they care about. So the other people who just don't fit into the club, who still are willing to buy stuff. I know Scott buys stuff, or he has. I stopped buying stuff a long a long time ago.
The reason why I really like the Iran forum
Brad the
is
bomb.
it's so free. It's so free. You can say whatever you want.
What's that?
The thing I like about the Iran forum is it's free.
Well, there, yeah. I mean, here's how a business conducts itself properly. And I'll tell you something right now. There's a lot about Iran. A lot, and yes, they are a bigger company. But guess what? They don't have time to deal with little criticism or even lots of criticism. Now, they got I was saying certain things about COVID which was against their policy or whatever.
That's okay.
Which, yeah, that's fine, but they made their they basically said that they can decide what they want to do and limit on their forms and all that other stuff. So I was just like, okay, whatever. So I'll just stay away from that topic.
Yeah.
I'm not on the Iran forums to talk about COVID-19, anyways.
No.
I see it everywhere else. I was just getting tired of seeing it, but again, I could go away from it. I can ignore it too. So practice what you preach, basically. But they get criticism all the time, and yet it's like there's so much there, and I mean they get constant messages on a regular basis. It's just constant beehive of activity, and there's a bunch of gimme pigs on there. There's all kinds of things. There's people, I they self police themselves for one. The moderators very seldom have to cut in. So like I haven't been on there. You should be on the forum because you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well you almost have to go daily just to keep up with their
I
crap.
know.
And that's why I stopped using it for now because I'm not really active into trains at the moment.
I usually only keep up on screenshots and what people are doing with routes and
Yeah,
then what like projects.
yeah, I know, and I'm missing out on all that stuff right now, and I kind of want to do that, but the thing is that takes so much time out of my day, and I don't do these live streams that much anymore. I really don't. So I figured now is a more better time than any just to kind of stand up for myself because I've asked myself to be removed, and no big deal. I'm not going to be a martyr or anything. I mean, a few of my close people, I guess, will Scott's going to stand by me. There's going to be others that'll come, that'll stand by. I won't name names or anything, but there's going to be people who stand by me, and that's all that matters. I mean, I feel as though I have to stand up for myself, and I think it's like it's not so much being right. I don't care if I'm right, wrong, whatever. It's when somebody is attacking you and this hypocrisy, you've got a decision to make. You either put up with the hypocrisy because you find that this is valuable and you need it, Or you just say, okay, well, this is kind of useless to me anyways, and I have a conversation with a few people, and apparently I can't dare. People, I think, must wonder why I still talk about Run 8. And it's like, the only reason why I still will talk about Run 8 is number one, I miss the old days. And I was missing the momentum that was happening. But other than that, I mean, I haven't really said too much, and I haven't really been on the Train Sim forums that much because really not much was happening. But I would go on a little bit, and if I felt to poke the bear, it's to poke, it's to get a response in a conversation. It's never attacking anybody. It's just saying, hey, you know, well, if and I it's being the antagonist. It's going in there and saying, I'm not just going to speak as if I'm supporting Run 8 and thinking, yes, everything they're doing is great. Somebody posted they hadn't done anything in a year, and I thought, wow, it's been a year? I didn't even notice. And a year like 2020, put it this way, a year like 2020, where a lot of people are home, I'm not, I gotta work. But a year like 2020, you think that people would, if I didn't have a job right now, and if I didn't have different hobbies, I'd be going stir crazy.
Glenridge.
I'd be going absolute stir crazy, trying to figure out what it is I'm gonna do. And I'm not. I'm on a forum where I just basically called their shot and called my own shot and said, ban me, get me out of there. And the reason why I asked to be banned was not because I go out as a hero or anything like that. I go out with integrity. I posted my last forum post. I defended myself and I said, that's it. I don't want to be here anymore. And some people might say, well, what happens if Run 8 picks up again and Run 8's awesome and doing all this other stuff? Okay, I've got to decide whether or not I'm going to invest in Run 8 to begin with. Just because Run 8 all of a sudden comes out with updates or comes out with version 3. Version 3 may not even... Well, no, they say they're working on it, so... they're having they're working a lot on the networking side. See, I haven't heard about that. So I had none of that information. So Brad's right about something. Because I'm banned, I'm only getting a limited amount of information. But guess what? I got the same information as any new user that would be on there. And if you look at the news, you even look at... I'll say this right now. I was on the Depot the other day. I don't mind admitting that. So I was on Depot, I checked their news just to see what their latest news was, and they're doing photo contests. There's no news about the product. There's no news about anything. There's no no updates, no interviews with John, no nothing. So if I'm going on there as a new user, let's say I'm a new user, and I hear about the Depot and the Depot's on the community. And I look in and I see the conversations and all the amount of conversation that's going on about this. I'm thinking to myself, what is everybody talking about? Because there's hardly anybody. Train Sim has more talking, and I'll keep adding to the fact I brought a lot of people into Run 8. Some of them are still there. If that's what they like, awesome. Other people have left. Some of the people that I brought in have left. But, whatever. It's and you don't get thanked for that. You don't get thanked for those word of mouth. They don't care. They want to hold these stupid ass grudges because you're critical of them. And then somebody tells me my word means so much. My word don't mean jack shit. As far as my word my voice carries or something like that, or people pay attention to what I have to say. People don't. there's a few people that pay attention to what I have to say, but I'm not that big of an influencer. My channel's not that popular anymore. When I started backing off of the RTS stuff and the Run 8 stuff, my channel declined big time. I know it. Do you think I care? Sure, I care to a certain extent. I miss having the popularity, but guess what? Would I rather be popular or would I rather be doing something I enjoy? Guess what? I do something I enjoy.
Yes. That's the whole point about it. If you enjoy something else.
Not the point of popularity. The point of popularity is nothing, really.
Exactly.
Makes you feel good, I guess, or something. I don't care.
It's not good.
I've always been a loner anyways.
As much as
I've always been a loner anyways. I've been bullied in school. I've dealt with bullies before. I've dealt with people who have, like to pounce their power. I've dealt with hypocrisy. I am an only child, just like my son. We know what it's like. Now, the difference is my son's very popular, except he's not in school because of all this crap going on. But let's see what Scott's got to say here. I'm shooting my mouth off, not. Oh, GTA Brad the Bomb. Long live. Yeah.
I remember playing the original.
Be miserable, go with popularity? Yeah, sure. Be miserable. Yeah, right. Oh wow, I'm up to 2 likes now. How many thumbs down do I have, Scott? I can't see. Why are people viewing what I'm having to say? This is crazy. See, I have a loyal following. I'm just shooting the shit here, talking about hypocrisy and why I've left Train Sim, and before anybody starts going, oh, you were banned.
You just got 2 more viewers like that.
Oh, yeah, I was banned the whole. I went right out in public and asked them to ban me. I mean, that's all there is to it. I don't mind shooting the shit if people are gonna come on here. Let's hear you in the chat. Wonder if Little Brad is around. He wants to chat.
Kinda done.
Well, Little Brad's not here. He doesn't want to stand up for himself and tell me how much of a
Probably busy.
what, from his basement? Oh. Still 1 thumbs down? Oh, okay. I haven't pissed off enough people. Got news for you, people. Most people don't care. I'm all little fish in that big-ass pond. I have no doubt there are people that are still into Run 8 and play every day and all this other stuff. I don't know how big that pond is. It might be a little exaggerated. Or bigger than ever. I don't necessarily buy that. I see the car counts on the forum and all this other stuff that Depot's doing. I really don't measure them or anything, but it doesn't look as busy as I've once seen it. But then again, they have their little private club within their little club, so that's even more exclusive.
And other forums are getting extremely busy. So many people have to find.
Other forums aren't busy. What do you mean?
Ron's extremely busy.
Well, no. I'm talking about Run 8. We know Iran's busy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And Train Sim World has their fans too. Train Sim World has their fans too. There's a lot of people that love Train Sim World.
And to be completely honest, Train Sim World does have some benefits. It's mostly eye candy, and
oh please,
but they do have some benefits. No, they don't.
What benefits do they have?
I'm trying to think. No, they don't.
My drone videos are better.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And they're not the greatest, but I could go take a picture of a train. There you go. There's your eye candy. Choo choo.
The only thing that.
Tell me.
To put up Train Sim.
What do you mean no data?
I can't. I physically can't.
It said no data there. What the hell's going on? Oh man. I'm holding my bladder. Yeah, I like playing Train Sim World. Go there to switch here. Oh no, you can't do a run around that way. You have to do it this way because the little question mark above the little bubble above your head said so. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
little blue lost.
Oh, gotta help the newbies learn how to run a train even in their regular sessions. Gotta do it that way.
You can only have half of him.
Oh yeah, and have the little wall in Hamilton.
Load the car yourself.
But get a nice shot of the station so everybody recognizes it.
Look at this pretty
Ooh,
choo-choo.
It's like Hamilton.
This train has 4 cars.
Okay. Enough of the baby stuff. This train has 4 cars. Yeah, they got freights running down the Oakville sub, which is a joke. But yeah, it is what it is.
Freights on the Grimsby.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's. I'll give Run 8 the credit. They're a lot more as real as it gets than Train Sim World. I don't care. I don't care what eye candy.
I personally feel that Run 8 has a good amount.
The community lacks because there's not a buzz.
And the other thing that they lack definitely their own creative perspective. That's what Travis does.
And they're not interested. They're really seemed, you know. I mean, it's their business. They can do whatever they want. But you got people in there who, a lot of people, okay, they're doing it as a hobby or whatever or pastime.
Glenridge.
But you've got all this potential, and all you have to do is reach out and feed them a little. Just feed them a little content once in a while. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be professional. Just feed them a little content. Show them what you're up to. And once you do that, you start. They will take over. That's how that's how it works. People will take over. People will stand. Number one, people will fight your fights because little Brad did that. So people will fight your fights. Trust me, I know. I've seen it firsthand from the others, from the dark side of the force or whatever you want to call it. But I've seen it. I've seen people will fight your fights. You do not have to police yourself. You can concentrate on what you guys do best. People will defend you, especially when you have loyal people who love what you guys do, and especially when you cater to their needs, to specific needs. So all these multiplayer guys, like myself, I can go in there and I could always defend them. And you don't have to worry about that stuff. So I mean, Train Sim, I mean, okay. Anything other than Run 8 right now. Iran doesn't have anything going there. If I want to get stuff on Iran, I go to the Iran forums. I don't need to be anywhere else. And that's all there is to it. I mean, I could go there to try to promote some of my stuff. I can promote my stuff on Iran forums too. No big deal. But there is no community. The only community is the kiss asses and the ones that are in line and don't cause problems. And I'm not saying they're all kiss asses either. I should take that back. They're not all kiss asses. A lot of them don't have opinions or don't want to. They don't want to. They don't have issues. Number one, or they haven't been around enough to worry about it, and this is all new to them, and they think it's awesome. Which I've been there. I remember that time. But when you've been around 7 years, it gets old. It gets old real quick. And that's what happened. It started getting old real quick. And as much as free updates, and they were. When they were doing that, that was different. But now it's like, okay, they're totally focused on version 3, but they're not talking about it. Except to their little crowd who supposedly has to do with multiplayer, And it's probably not even on their public forum. It's probably within their little group within the group type thing. As far as Depot, so those that don't want to participate in that multiplayer group suddenly are excluded. They are missing out. Like, okay, so that's what I'd like to call the Insider Club, I guess. You be bad, causing me to wear the skin from fingers. How the hell am I active? My life alert after morning such as this. How the hell am I
Am I to activate?
Your life alert. Scott's fallen and he can't get up.
Oh, that conversion.
Jesus. Sorry, Scott. I couldn't help it. Holy shit. Oh. And whenever Scott goes silent for a while, not so much on the chat, but on forums, I always get worried about him. I'm like, okay, where is he? What's going on with him? He's very fragile. But he speaks his mind. I love it. He was smart. He got away from that train sim group a long time ago, I think. Even when he got reinstated, I think he hasn't been that active in train sim for a while. Don't blame him.
Yeah, I was about to say don't.
I don't blame him. I don't know why I had some pretty good conversations though with a few people that were there, and all I wanted to do was give them a little bit of a different opinion and a different spin on perspective, and they knew where I stood. They knew that I was disgruntled, but I was also willing to help people if I could. But there wasn't really people asking to help. There wasn't new users. If anybody asked what do they think of Run 8, I would probably sell that product to them. Because I would be legitimately telling them what they have, pros and cons. So if you're looking for a place where you like multiplayer and you want to get to a group of people, there are places like the Depot that are out there. Or if you just like single play, if you like single player, it's just like, and I was like, oh no, you can't do anything in single. You can do stuff in single player.
There's tons of things.
There's tons of things to do. But everything gets old. It's just the way of life. You know, everything
Glenridge.
everything gets old. And that's just it. And you got to keep things fresh. You got to you got to keep the product fresh in order to keep going. If you're not, you become stale and boring.
Hmm.
And from my perspective, unless I'm on the Depot, which I may or may not be, a lot of people hear about Run 8 from Train Sim, believe it or not. And they don't necessarily go to the website. A lot of people don't even know what the hell Run 8 is.
No, a lot of people don't.
A lot of people.
Like sometimes someone will go off on it or talk about it on the Around forum.
So if I was just me being a business, and like I say, they can run the business however the hell they want, but
It's theirs.
if I am trying to generate revenue to get my dreams going faster, it was just like, okay, well, this has been tough programming, and this has been tough, and blah 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 blah. Okay, they have people within their team already, I think, that have to deal with public relations or something, or customer service. they could also fill the role of public relations and being an ambassador to different forums, and basically they'll have their marching orders as to what they can and can't say, and they'll represent Run 8. And they can do that if they wanted to, but they don't. They choose to stay with their core. They choose to frequent one forum, which is fine. Doesn't matter. I'm not on Train Sim anymore as of today, anyways. So, for me personally, I'm like, okay, now the only way I'm going to find out about everything is if Scott or somebody else tells me. And think about that for a minute. If I'm not in the Run 8 bubble, if you're not in the Run 8 bubble, how the hell are you supposed to create new money coming into the product? How are you supposed to get more people eyeing your product? And I know
Publicity.
they're working on graphics, which is great, good for them.
Who's
Um,
gonna know it?
it's got to be, yeah, but you got to rely on people like myself and others who is actually going to be into it and willing to share it.
Yeah, and if they have some criticism, putting them down or
That's the
releasing
problem.
them
They
is going
can't
to.
they can't handle criticism. And that's been their weakness all along. They cannot handle any criticism, whether constructive or otherwise. So, and neither can the people that support them. They wear this badge of honor where you if you say anything negative about them, they take it as a personal insult. I know these people. It's their baby. They take it as a personal insult. I'm not trying to insult them. I'm not trying to pee in their tub. Okay? It's like, well, my YouTube isn't that much. I don't think my YouTube's that much needed.
Back then,
There was a time I was, but I'm so far out of the I'm so far out of their Run 8 bubble now that and I've severed my basically Dale actually helped push me to the limit where I just said it's nothing personal with Dale. He's just doing his job, I guess. Um, Whether I agree or disagree with him, he he basically called, is this going to turn into a pissing contest? And I'm like, nope, it's not going to be a pissing contest anymore. I'm done. Because I at that point I had enough. It was like nobody comments on him with his little I and his little run by shot at me, and I'm trying to engage him privately. It's like, and yeah, telling somebody to f off is probably not the best way to engage somebody, but it's like at least that gets your attention. If somebody tells me to f off, I'm gonna engage them. I'm gonna say what the hell's your problem? Well, then they could tell me what their problem is. Blah blah blah.
well, I guess he sort of did respond to it because
No, he does it
He
publicly.
did talk about
He
it
does
after.
he does it on a huh?
He did talk about it after.
No, because he has no response to it.
Yeah.
And he also will this little Brad guy, he'll have no response to any of it. People say, "Oh no, they don't want the politics of forums and blah 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 and all this other stuff." Well, no, there's a lot of people that because when you get down into the dirt, you really find out about things. You really find out about a person's character. And I'm not well liked by a lot of people. I don't care. I'm not here for a popularity contest. You think I'm going to be covering this friggin' 7 days a week? I used to. I'm going to be doing other things. I'm going to be posting. I got a bunch of other videos that I could be working on right now and putting up on the forum. And to be quite honest, this is more intriguing to me right now. Because I figure, hey, it's hot right now. Let me just keep on going on about it. Let me just keep talking about it because I want to. My son seems interested. He's awake now.
I was awake before, but not as.
So, anyways, I'm going to read this. YouTube very much needed. Those that don't know of Run 8 may have no other means to get that info. Exactly. Do you know how many friggin' views? Some of the most popular videos on my channel are still Run 8.
Yeah, the tutorial video.
And I have people, I can attest to that. I have people all the time asking me about Run 8 who just stumble on my channel.
Yeah. Like they have like a lot of,
So
a lot
don't
of views.
so wouldn't you want me on your good side?
If you were Run 8, if I were Run 8, I would. Because you're giving me popularity and you are
Yeah,
drawing people to the subject.
exactly.
So if I were to say,
I haven't-
you
I-
criticized me.
I haven't stopped anybody from buying Run 8 as far as I know. I mean, I
it's
may have.
possible.
I may have.
It's possible.
Negativity is more deterrent than the people that I don't know. I don't have those numbers.
I highly doubt you've deterred as many. Highly doubt.
Well, no, give me something to go on. Give me something, but that's the thing. Just because I don't want to join certain people's clubs who are, either hypocritical, vile environments. I mean, this is the second time Run 8 has made that mistake. They've associated now, don't get me wrong. The guys who run 8 Depot are much better than that other ass that used to run Dams for him. That guy was a total I don't know what you want to call him. I actually was going to try to sympathize with him one time. But he had none of it. He was more of a drive-by type guy too. Actually, he stood up for himself a lot more than the others. I got no problem with the leadership of Depot. I got a problem with the administrators. Not all of them. There's a bunch of them who they were very hypocritical in their responses to me. Some of them understood what I was saying. Others were towing the Run 8 line, and I kind of saw I kind of saw the writing on the wall very early, and I felt like an outsider from the beginning. I didn't feel like I was welcome. I knew of people who would talk behind my back. I would hear it in various forums and stuff like that, and everything would be okay. It would be okay to talk behind my back, but when I was there, no, you can't discuss things with me, can you? And that's it. Yeah, a week anyway. You can go 24/7.
See, if I were you and if I were Run 8, I would want you because you're one of the people that's getting a lot of views.
I'm not getting that many views.
Well,
I was
no,
getting views.
You were, is my point. And you were covering the topic. So I wouldn't want to, if I were Run 8, I would not want to say that, oh, you...
Well, they don't have to... They should stand up for themselves and what they believe in.
They should.
But they hold these stupid grudges. I don't hold a grudge to Run 8.
Oh, it's Run 8. I mean, they've
I don't,
done some cool
people
stuff.
think I hold a grudge to Run 8 or I have this hatred because I keep on talking about it. The reason why I talk about Run 8 is because there's a place in my heart. It was part of my life for 7 years. I'm not saying I miss it that much because I really don't.
No.
Would you quit fidgeting with the damn spoon? But my son's a fidget. I'm a bit of one too, but he's playing with a spoon from last night. But maybe last week, who knows? Yeah, it's like people think. I swear they think that I have some type of grudge or hatred towards Run 8. I want them to succeed. The reason why I do what I do and kind of bring up the subject once in a while to keep the topic alive. When the forum starts going dead, and then all of a sudden somebody mentions something about, wow, it's been a year. You're damn right. That's an opening for me. I've posted enough posts on there about like what is going on with Run 8? Why can't they say anything? Why, they're dead. And John had to defend himself last year. John defended himself right on that forum, or earlier this year, I think it was. He defended himself saying Run 8 is far from dead. blah blah blah. And him and I saw things a different way, or remember things a different way. I remember him saying things differently, but I'm not going to argue on something. That's fine. So, but that was the kind of thing that we needed more of. We needed more of these discussions from a developer or somebody who was close to Run 8.
Yeah.
And we stopped getting it. Jason used to be on there for a while. He stopped. Now, I know he had some health issues as well. There's a lot of guys who've had health issues to Run 8, including Brad. There's still enough people on board. And if they needed help, all they had to do was increase their revenues. And that's their choice. So they didn't reach out to a broader audience. You know how many people enjoy using Run 8 for single player? They could learn from that. But no, and little Brad said it right on the Train Sim forum, and he said it to all the guys who, quite frankly, were just clapping like seals when they started giving him the information. I'm thinking to myself, you guys don't like multiplayer, and you're not criticizing that. Well, they're not here because they don't like multiplayer. Well, that's a slap in the face. And just because it's not their core audience, who cares? Big companies deal with core audiences. Big companies, big greedy companies deal with core and don't concentrate on little fish. Trust me, I know. I've been with companies. I've been with corporate conglomerates. Corporations, the way corporations, and they say, oh, they want to be like DTG and all these other big companies. Okay, here. Corporations have one thing in mind, and that is return on investment. So when a private company gets taken over, which happened to me where I worked a long time ago, I work for a private company right now, a very small company. It's awesome. But I've been in places where it's been taken over by a corporate conglomerate.
Yeah, I've
and
heard
then,
stories.
and you've heard the story, and I'm going to say it anyways. I'm telling these guys. So the corporate conglomerate comes in, and suddenly I was busy helping make profit. They wanted the big profits. They were still making a profit, but they started cutting contracts out of the little guys. That's exactly what Run 8 is doing if it's avoiding its other ventures. And they can do the business any way we want, but that is a big business move. You could argue and say, oh no, that's because they're small, and that's because they're small and they don't have the time to focus on this, and they want to focus on whatever they want. But the fact is, they're not as small as people think they are. We played a game. What was it? Subsistence. Yes.
There's videos on the channel.
Subsistence. There's videos. There's some videos that I've covered on the channel. I haven't played it in a while. That is a guy who was originally part-time, who was still doing a hell of a lot of things. And eventually he went full-time into it.
And pours his heart out into it.
He pours his. It is his passion, just like the Run 8 guys. It's their passion. But
the thing with him,
they engage. He engages everyone, and he takes. Sorry, he engages everyone, and he takes the criticism.
Yeah, watches everyone's videos. He even watched our video once.
No, I know he does.
And he
and I'm a
watches
small
what the
fish
community
when
wants.
that. I was a small fish in
Oh
subsistence.
yeah, very.
But it caught my attention.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't do it now,
he
but
always tries to watch people. He
yeah.
wants to know what they think. He wants to know what
Yeah.
they can do better, and that's that we.
And trust me, I take things personally too. So I know what it's like to take things personally. I know what it's like when they say your baby's ugly. Sorry, not you. I mean that as a metaphor.
Yes,
Nobody's ever called you ugly.
I know.
But
I know the metaphor.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, you call me ugly? No.
Oh, God.
And Emmett's never been that much into Run 8. He's into trains. He's into the a lot of the eye candy and the
Not the eye candy.
creation. The creation.
Yeah.
But see, there's an avenue. There's a potential avenue that Run 8 could have gone down. They decided not to. It's okay. They don't have to. They don't have to cater to everybody. It's not about catering to everybody. But when you have people within your purchased or are continuing to purchase or have the potential to purchase, wouldn't you want to try to get their attention?
Yeah, that's. It seems like the only logical thing.
You can't grow your audience by just dealing with your core. Your
Because
core,
that
your
would
core,
somebody.
your core is only going to reach so far because you're now in a micro niche
You know,
of a micro niche.
Even staying in your core and doing a lot of things with your core,
Mhm.
you have more potential to lose people who vote for you. Because a lot of those people may not like it and they decide, okay, I'm done with it.
Well,
I'm done. That's sort of what happened to you.
that's that.
So-
You're
and
describing me to
that
a T.
happens exactly. That your audience goes away, and now you have no people in your core audience that are going
They-
out for the other parts.
They
of your audience.
developed the California territory too much. Had they kept it small, I may have still been doing Run 8 today.
They don't have
but-
enough people to run half of that thing.
Exactly.
They
So
don't.
and you know
At
and
least not the same
and
time
nobody
period.
and nobody wanted to run the Northeast. The Southeast, to some extent, they did, but everybody was all there. And then this is the thing: they're casuals like California. They're casuals like the big roots. They didn't care about operating. They didn't care about. Most of the people don't give a rat's ass about operating. They just want to run trains and see their buddies go by them. That's how. Even Scott was telling me the other day that most of the people that are in Run 8 are, a lot of the streams you've seen are people trying to crash into trains and do
Oh,
do all kinds of, do basically a bunch of kids playing
yeah. That's
because it's cool.
Yeah.
Because they like trains and they're not into operations. They're not into how as real as it gets, but they have something that works really well in multiplayer that they can talk with their buddies, run choo-choos, honk at each other. And Scott has seen these videos. I see these videos once in a while, but I certainly don't search it out because guess what? I'm not searching for Run 8 on YouTube.
No.
I don't care.
I'll give one thing to Run 8 in California.
Uh-huh.
And it's the fact that it's cool. I mean, having a large area
It is.
of stuff to do increases the amount of different things. But the problem
You
that,
can't.
that they had was you can't. There's so many things to do on such
need
a busy
automation.
line. You need automation,
You-
which they don't have.
Well, they have some.
Unless they greatly improve on that in version 3.
Exactly. And if they
That's the
and
only
that's
thing.
that's where I'm curious. That's where I like to see where version 3 is going. Yeah, movable bridges are awesome. Graphics are awesome. I know graphics are going to be appealing to people.
But what are they going to do in the long term?
Well, I don't know, but movable bridge. The only thing I've heard is movable bridges and turntables. Hey, I live by a canal. I love movable bridges.
Yeah.
I really do. Is it going to get me to purchase Run 8? No.
Is it going to get you ahead in the market of other games? No.
It might get some people curious.
But moving bridges? Almost any other high game has. Think about it.
Emmett B.
Trains-
Shrek and Dad sidekick ass. I'm Donkey. I'm Donkey. Oh crap. Here, why don't you talk to everybody?
Okay, fine, sure.
Why don't you talk to everybody,
Sure.
Shrek? I gotta take a leak.
Sure, I'll explain what I think about Run 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, might as well.
what you like about Run 8. Remind me, I'm just interrupting.
Well, Run 8's it's an interesting topic because it has so many things that are so good about it. But the problem with it is that it doesn't have the community base for a multiplayer game. And if it didn't have that, it doesn't have the automation it would require for someone to basically run a route as big as California, that is. If they were to have smaller routes, it'd be cool. Like if they were to have short lines, for example, like some of the ones out by Buffalo, that'd be cool. But they can't keep doing large routes and assuming that, oh my god, everybody's gonna like it, everybody's gonna be playing on it all day. No, people have other stuff to do. And, they don't have that wide of an audience. And not helping people that are making YouTube videos of you and your game is not going to help you with getting a wider audience. And it doesn't matter whether or not they like the game, as long as they're covering it and getting a lot of viewers, some people may become interested. So turning that down is completely pointless. It's just saying, okay, we don't like what you had to say about our game, so we're not going to cover you. And that, in return, makes your audience less wide, and then problem there. Because you're going to have all these people that were watching before, and they were like, oh, I'll think about it. Then they don't see the same person covering it, and they're wondering why. Not like it? They don't go and see it. So it's a big problem with that, is Run 8 doesn't do a very good job with that. They don't do a very good job with a community, and they don't have enough automation to replace it. So you get an endless thing where you can't have enough people or don't have the automation skills to require it.
Well, oh, you can talk.
Okay,
Talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk. Tell him. I was hearing what you said.
Yeah, I mean,
Tell him what you like about what you're like. I know. Read that. Who's S?
I've never seen that person before.
I haven't seen the devs on this other forum. Sometime a little message would be nice. Yeah. Oh. I'm on Trains Railroad Simulator. Yeah, talk about trains.
Yeah, trains.
Talk about trains, because I haven't been into it as much lately.
Trains is cool.
Tell them why you like trains.
Trains is so cool because you have the ability to customize and you have the ability to make small routes. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of small routes as it is. If you wanted to pay for it, if you don't want to make it, you have a huge community base that makes crazy routes. Like, I was looking the other day at some routes that are even free for jointed rail and things like that.
Even the content.
And like Coal Country and Eagle River and Pennsylvania and Berwyn. And then all the add-ons they have, if you're going to complain about people not having enough content, you can't complain about that with trains because they have endless content from people. Endless content from people. And even if they make a lot of their own content, which is really, really good. But a lot of people see Iran because they have a pretty big base, and a lot of people actually play it. There are people with a lot of views that do it, and they don't turn them down if they have one thing to criticize, because they feel that that's helping them, which it is, and that's why they have a big community base, and that's why they can make big routes and cool different things. And there's so many assets. Like, I look for assets every day, and there's new ones every day. I literally got one that was brand new the other day, and they have SAP and the things like that. They have the people that work on these things. Jointed Rail is a big one. It's really cool. And Trains even took in some of their assets and made it part of their game.
Emmett's got these huge.
There's so many things.
Emmett does a hell of a lot more in Trains because he has more time on his hands. Plus he's into it more. He actually is into it more. Did I get you into it first?
Yeah, initially, yeah.
And then you.
We were reluctant at first, but I got it, and basically I started building routes, and I couldn't get invested in one, but I've been invested in one lately, and it's just so much fun.
The reason why the drone has taken over for me is because I'm a perfectionist, and I was trying to build my route in a perfect way.
Yeah, which is hard to do. It really is.
Now drone is my number one hobby. But don't worry, I'll be back in the trains. Here, have that and let's switch.
Okay.
So, thanks, Emmett. It's good to have somebody speak with you. Take a leak and get something to eat. Run 8's. I mean, they've been clear that, and the thing that wasn't clear about Run 8, and I know John had mentioned this, and I said this, and they can change their mind and they can change their direction and do whatever they want. I remember the days of the first year where there was a software development kit. I don't know what... Even though I had a non-disclosure, I have no idea what that software development kit was supposed to be.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that earlier, but I was like, you still have disclosure.
The software... No. It's stuff that was... I never talked to you anything about disclosure, because I put it this way, I don't have any secrets. That's a crazy thing. Well, I mean, they warned me about different things if I was talking about private conversations or what have you. That's part of the disclosure agreement, but I don't know why they're protecting that. But anyways, I'm talking about stuff that's public. They had for 1 year a software development kit on their website. I don't know what it was supposed to be. I don't know exactly. Nobody knew what it was supposed to be, but it was coming. So it was supposed to be some type of development thing. Apparently, John was always against it, and I guess he won out or something. At least that's what he explained the last time he was on Train Sim. I remember a time, I swear he said that maybe it'd be a good idea to have a little bit of an editor or something.
Yeah.
I swear I remember him saying that, but he says he didn't, so, whatever.
The reason why they gave you an NDA is because they don't want to expose the ass kissing. They don't want to.
No, there's nothing.
It's like.
There's nothing. There's nothing. What? What? Because they ban certain people. Everybody knows they ban people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what they do.
I mean, for me to say, well, they can't take criticism. That's public knowledge. That ain't non-disclosure crap.
Yeah, that's definitely public knowledge.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's obvious. But that's my own conclusion. That might be my own conclusion. Maybe that's only mine. It's an opinion. There's no facts. There's no trade secrets there. But sorry, I'm hungry, guys. And go ahead, you talk. Oh, you're stuffing your face too. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll end this for now. Because I don't want to.
It's still raining outside, or
It's still. I don't know. We can't fly a drone today or tomorrow, which sucks.
So we'll be stuck inside.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Anyways, I'm gonna stuff. We're gonna stuff our face now for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough fun. But if you missed any of this from before, the rant that started all this, or to find out what this was all about, you can go back and see the beginning of the video. I just thought it was time to stand up for myself, and hopefully they take my advice and they ban me from it. I seriously do, because I don't want to be. I'm going to be curious. I'll always be curious as to what they're saying, or what little message they have. That part I'm always curious about, because you just want to know. You want to know what they're saying. You want to know how they react. Blah blah blah. When you take a stand. But honestly, I don't want to be posting any more messages on Train Sim. I'm done with that. It's been fun. I should have just stepped away. And this wasn't really a Run 8 rant so much as it was a Train Sim rant that started and then turned into a bit of a Run 8 rant, but that's usual. But when you love something, or it was a big part of your life, yeah, you have it is. But I did let it. I honestly did let it go, because I stopped worrying about what they were going to do next for about a year. I just did my own things and didn't worry about it. And people are still enjoying it. Great. Good for them. I found it very boring, very, very, unless I was part of a big community or had a big group going, it was pretty dead. And the days, and I belong to another community too, but they like to have good views with or they like to have a good standing with Run 8. I won't mention the community, but there was another community that I belong to, but I used to run with them, and well, I might as well. The Southwest Forum, and they're not even advertised by Run 8. I don't even know. I don't know how people can find them, quite frankly. But they still run their sessions and do whatever, and they actually was a successor to the RTS forums, or the RTS server. So, but I still got along with those guys pretty good. We didn't always see eye to eye as far as how the server would be, but that was their server. But never had any personal issues. Never had any bitch fests that go on, like with Train Sim on their forums, or the Run 8 depots, or whatever. But or even if you want to go back, I was even on the Dams forum for a while. Same thing happened. And the thing that always happens with me is if there's hypocrisy and people don't stand up to hypocrisy, I take a stand, and that's the type of person I am. I'm a person of integrity, and I always have been. And if they're not going to stand up to it, they're just going to take one side, or say, talk about pissing contests and all this other stuff. I'm just like, okay, well, where were you when somebody's going I like an idiot? So hit and run. They're hit and runs. I learned that from Mark Levin. He was call them hit and run. Hit and run media, they like to call it. I kind of like that. So
Good metaphor.
that's my new. Yeah, that's very. And these are the hit and run artists. These are the hit and run type people. And no wonder why, because you got hit and run media who won't will just take shots at different people, and
Run away.
and then they just they just move on. They never apologize for being proven wrong. They never they never admit anything. I admit that sometimes things. I take my little shots now and then, but whatever. Anyways, that's it, guys. I've had enough. I gotta eat. Gotta eat, so you don't want to hear me munching. I got nothing else to show, so. Anyways. I'll have more stuff on my channel, more drone footage. Nothing trains wise. You should start adding your train stuff. Maybe get these
Yeah,
trains
I've been
things.
thinking about that for.
Well, I got my channel. You can add stuff if you want. You got stuff to show.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. All right then.